Hello everyone. I'm about to put some good information out there that's very crucial. I would like to say I would like to state that I've watched tons of videos. I follow different people who have tons of followers and give good information, but I have not heard this information being exposed, being put out there. So this is good information. Um, Yeah. So with that being said, I want to state first of all that this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney, and this is not an agreement of any kind. Okay, getting right into it, people. What I've noticed that we've been doing in these courts, we've been acting in the wrong capacity. We've been making claims that's to our detriment, rather than it giving us the result that we want. Now, this term right here is very important, people. Okay, let me zoom this up a bit. Um, a foreign official. This is essentially the capacity that you should be acting in at all times, especially coming in the door. I'm going to read this out loud. Foreign official or foreign public official refers to a person who acts in an official capacity for a foreign government. The term is chiefly used in connection with international conventions and national laws against corruption and international trade. Okay, people, let me break this down. It says right here, a foreign official is a person who acts in an official capacity for a foreign government. Let me tell you, people, whatever state you live in is a territory of the United States. It has its own government. Its jurisdiction is original and exclusive, meaning that um, their jurisdiction is made based off their own authority. Pretty much, that's what that means. Now, officials at these courts, um, which are really corporations, and here's why: because none of them, rarely, depending on which tribunal you're in, act in an official capacity to the oath, in regards to the oath to the Constitution that they took. They didn't take an oath to enforce statutes, which are only the appearance of law, or under the color of law. Now, they took an oath to uphold and support the Constitution of the United States, not enforce statutes, but they act in a private capacity to issue bills and exchange securities on behalf of your state. International trade, national laws against corruption and international trade. People, they are literally um, utilizing corrupt practices or corrupt operations in these courts, forfeiting your estate, which is unconstitutional, and subrogating your rights. Now, I'm going to get into why and how and show you proof of why you are the Attorney General. Now, you have two different types of Attorney Generals. You have the Attorney General of the United States, which that I'm not talking about your that, and you have the Attorney General, someone who exercises and executes general powers of attorney. Okay. Now follow me for a second here. I'm gonna show proof to all of what I'm saying here. General power of attorney. Okay, look at what this says, people. A general power of attorney allows a principal to elect a legal representative known as an agent or attorney in fact to handle their financial decisions on their behalf while alive and competent. The principal may allow the agent to handle any type of monetary or financial related decisions legally allowed by law. Now, check this out, people. Um, a general power of attorney This is basically saying that the principal, which is the chief of a legal representative, you, which is saying you have the power to appoint the general power of attorney. Now, so you can execute your right to settle the case, settle and dismiss the case. That's essentially what you want to do through the process of giving notice of your general power of attorney. Now, but let me show you what actually happens when you don't do that, and what actually goes on. The prosecuting agency subrogates your right to the estate. They subrogate your estate. Now, the judge, who's supposed to be impartial, he acts as your counsel or power of attorney and enters a plea for you. So essentially what's going on is, in this court, almost everyone who's acting there, whose names you see on these bills, on these documents, these court documents, they are all acting as exercising certain powers of attorney over you. That's literally what's going on. Now, I'm going to show and prove to you this further with this right here. Okay, let's pull this up. Pull this up. Okay. Now, this right here. See, this is why I love Wikipedia. People don't, because you have to start reading about the nature of what's going on. My screen is gonna get it as best as it can, but I'm gonna read this. In most common law jurisdictions, the Attorney General or Attorney General is the main legal advisor to the government. Okay, in some jurisdictions, Attorney General also have executive responsibilities for law enforcement, prosecutions, or even responsibility for legal affairs generally. In practice, the extent to which the Attorney General personally provides legal advice to the government varies between jurisdictions and even between individual office holders within the same jurisdiction, often depending on the level and nature of the office holder's prior legal experience. Where the Attorney General has ministerial responsibilities for legal affairs in general, the ministerial portfolio is largely equivalent to that of a minister of justice in some other countries. Okay, what this is essentially saying, that you are the head of your state. You are the king of your castle. You have sovereignty. It's there, you just have to use it. Now, this right here, this next, let me pull this screen back up. Give me a second. This next paragraph really exposes what's going on, and I'm going to highlight this as I read. The term was originally used to refer to any person who holds a general power of attorney to represent a principal in all matters. Okay, you can see that pretty much. In the common law tradition, anyone who represents the state, especially in criminal prosecutions, is such an attorney. Okay, I'm gonna reread that. Let me reread, because you guys, you comprehend that, because I'm gonna break it down. The term was originally used to refer to any person who holds a general power of attorney to represent a principal in all matters, represent you in all matters. In common law tradition, anyone who represents the state, especially in criminal prosecutions, is such an attorney. Although a government may designate some official as the permanent attorney general, anyone who can represent the state in the same way could, in the past, be referred to as such, even if only for a particular case. Today, however, in most jurisdictions, the term is largely reserved as a title of the permanently appointed Attorney General of the state, sovereign, or other member of the royal family. Now look at this, of the royal family. Look at who's royal to your estate. Not them. They're fucking strangers. You don't know them. They have a private interest, and it's not your best interest that they have at hand. So what does this say right here? This says that I'm going to clarify this up. This basically saying that the state appears on your behalf as the Attorney General of your estate, the general who has general powers of attorney over your estate. Now, this is basically saying, now look at what it says right here. Government. Although a government, you see that? Although a government may designate some official as the permanent attorney general, a government, people, you are the government of your affairs. Your consciousness is your government. Now, I'm going to show and prove this further. Now, it just said that the term was originally used to refer to any person who holds a general power of attorney to represent a principal in all matters in common law tradition, anyone who represents the state. So the prosecuting agency represents the state. Now, this is Wisconsin law. I'm going to jump right into it. This is Wisconsin law. And it goes even further to clarify what's happening. Okay, so it says that a power of attorney is created under this chapter is durable unless it expressly provides that it is terminated by the incapacity of the principal. So that just essentially means that that your power of attorney is durable. That means that it cannot be diminished throughout the proceeding. It's always there for you to give notice that you are appointing yourself as the general power of attorney or attorney general to execute and settle the case for the purposes of dismissal. So, execution of power of attorney. To execute a power of attorney, the principal must sign the power of attorney or another individual, which is what the state does, in the principal's conscious presence and directed by the principal. Must sign the principal's name on the power of attorney. A signature of the principal on a power of attorney is presumed to be genuine if the principal makes an acknowledgement of the power of attorney before a notarial officer authorized under that section to take acknowledgments. What this is saying, people, what this is essentially saying that all it takes to execute the power of attorney is the principal, the chief, whoever is the subject, the principal of what's going on. That's you. You are the principal. You usually sign your or give consent to your power of attorneys, or they take it due to your acquiescence, due to your silence. It means consent to them. But the thing is that you can give notice that you have power of attorneys. It's as simple as that. But here's the thing, keep in mind, at the end, what it says right here, all it's saying is that it has to be notarized. That's it, period. And it has to have your signature on it. Now, I'm going to clarify that up, signature, because a lot of people misinterpret that. What it means by signature is that it has the actual signature, the term signature has to be in there. So on your document, be sure that right under your name, where you sign that, it's gonna say signature printed out underneath the line where you're gonna sign your signature at. And you're gonna put whatever you put next to it without prejudice or whatever. But that's gonna be making it, when you do this, sign your signature and endorse it, and you go get it notarized, witnessed before a notarial officer, it's going to become a bill of exchange. It's going to have effect and a force and authority behind it. So that's that, people. So I'm going to end this video right there. Pretty much, I have other look. Another thing I want to say is that do not put this in emotion, people. Do not put this in emotion. Back to what I said in the beginning of the video. Some of you guys use these words in the wrong context. Emotion is a request to the court, a request to the judicial tribunal. They have discretion over motions. You never want to file a motion. If you're gonna file anything, it should be a petition. But that's for another. That's not for this. I don't want anyone using a petition in the wrong format and formula. So I'm gonna make another video on why they don't have jurisdiction over you. And this is just to be within the right capacity, correct their status in there, and get the case dismissed. So keep in mind that you don't want to put this in a motion. You want to put out, because a motion is just a request to the court that they have discretion over. Keep that in mind. You want to put this in a notice, or even in an affidavit. Now, what I'm saying, I'm going to upload another video to prove why they don't have jurisdiction over you. And the only jurisdiction the circuit court have is original and exclusive to issue oaths of allegiance. Which meaning, if you have not taken allegiance to them, to their jurisdiction, to their state, their principles, their all of that, then you owe them no duty. You owe no liability. No liability created. You really have to get within the understanding that they are foreign to you and you are foreign to them. This is going to be an upcoming video. My voice is a little hoarse, excuse me, but I'm going to end it like that. Please like this video, subscribe. I have tons of other information that's very crucial to preventing them from assaulting you with these ex post facto laws, from subjecting you to these ex post facto laws, which is unconstitutional, and assaulting you with unconstitutional bills of attainders and unconstitutional bills of pains or penalties. So I'll leave it at that, people. Until next time, subscribe.